Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome back to the Down Fast podcast, episode 12 on the Chiltern Trainspotters. After a 2 month break, we are now back with hopefully our weekly podcast for you all to listen to and enjoy. So with me today are our standard guests. So we have Alfie and Liam's a railway photographer, Chiltern Transporter, and Liam's railway photography, both
Hello.
on YouTube.
Hello.
And basically, what's been happening, we've just been so caught up with school and videos and everything else that we just haven't really had a chance to be able to get this podcast done. But now, hopefully, we do hope to be able to get the podcast back to somewhat of a regular occasion, and we do hope that you tune in. You do want to tune in? I don't know.
Yes.
So what
So
are our
today,
topics today?
so today we're going to be talking about franchising, which is a big subject going on in the railway industry now, and a lot of new trains that are testing, and just some general chat about trains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we haven't been here
Just
for
a general catch up on what we're doing, basically.
yeah.
yeah, everything that's going on.
So I think our first topic is probably going to be that there are so over 2020 and lockdown, I think lots of different railway companies have been using the opportunity to test new trains and um yeah, to test new trains and like
Just
whilst they're
trial and
testing,
error.
kind of trial, yeah.
Yeah,
So obviously there are some specific examples of this, one of which is now on the screen. So specific example of this is the South Western Railway 710s, which have been testing for a while now. We also have West Midlands trains 195s, I think they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
196. I think so.
oh yeah, 196 is 195s. And I don't know if they're I mean, there's the Greater Anglia, not Greater, yeah, Greater Anglia 720s, which is seen here. And just in general, lots of other new stuff. So
Yeah,
we had the London Underground factory something about for the new tube trains for the Piccadilly line and new tube for London in general.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and so do we think that obviously there's lots of so with the in IETs, for example, the Azumas or whatever you want to know, whatever you call them, um, do we so obviously there's a lot of controversy around them, as people argue that Brit trains basically they're just getting worse and worse with the government not giving
Yeah.
them enough funding and they're just
yeah,
impractical
Jap
basically.
crap.
Do we think that the situation that they should be introducing new trains, like specifically the South Western Railway, Greater Anglia,
Like
and
decent new
yeah,
trains.
West Mids.
yeah.
Like, do we think that it's necessary, or do you think we should like keep with the old 172s, 455s,
Personally,
etc.
I think that the brand new 720s on Greater Anglia are totally unneeded because the 321s are literally the same as the 720s. They're 3+2 seating, they're quite high capacity, and basically you're just getting harder seats and more
Yeah.
expensive fares because the trains cost like millions of pounds.
True, and I guess leads to
Yeah.
higher fares. What about you, Liam?
I think, yeah, I was on a Renaissance a couple of days ago. It's just, they're not needed.
Well,
Renaissance is
Greater
perfectly good.
Anglia is a refurbished.
Yeah,
The Greater Anglia start refurbishing some of their 321s into like high capacity, more modern air
yeah.
conditioning.
They
Things.
were so much less modern trains. If you had just come into this country from France, you'd think they were brand new trains.
Yeah.
They did a refurbishment of them, and they didn't need to replace them.
Um.
Well, the thing is, in France and like Germany, all that, they don't really have as high PRM standards.
No, they don't.
Like
Or
in
fire safety
UK, you
regulations
have
and
to have
things like
like
that.
2-inch seats, which won't catch fire as easily.
Yeah.
When in France,
Yeah.
you've got like massive thick seats, which are like really comfortable.
Yeah, I think a lot of
Yeah,
it is to do with the fire safety stuff, I guess. Like for example, on London North Eastern, and the reason why they don't have like leather seats on their new Azumas, A, because of cost, and obviously two because of the fire precautions. That's why they have like I don't know what they are, like fabric seats,
Yeah.
fabric
yeah,
seats now. Instead of
Yeah.
yeah.
like leather seats, which I don't
Pretty
like.
poor for first class though.
Yeah,
It's better than standard, but it's definitely not as
true.
good
It's the
as.
same type of seat, same material, rather
Yeah,
than with the old LNER stuff, you would have, you know, like the fabricy stuff in
massive.
standard, and then the actual like leather in
Yeah,
Yeah,
first, which I
like
guess.
good quality, high material, high class seats, and it
yeah,
felt fancy. But in like new Azuma first class, it just feels like any bog standard like train.
Yeah,
yeah,
and I guess you could say that is a downgrade. Um,
Yeah,
like depending.
and the ticket prices are getting higher, so that doesn't help. You're paying more for less, basically.
yeah. With there is one exception to awful trains. The flirts, they're very good. They've
Yeah, the
been.
flirts are alright. I wouldn't pay first class though. There's no
But
No, I've
difference
I
in
not
think
seat.
seen
the
that.
reason why that's alright. So I don't know. I got this off Inside Source a while ago. So if you look
Yeah,
take a GWR IET, which will probably go on the screen in a minute if I can find a. If you take a GWR IET and compare it with a flirt, obviously there's a difference, but a flirt train. So if you don't know what a flirt is, basically we're talking about Greater Anglia's 755s slash 745s.
yeah,
Um, a flirt is per carriage £4 million more expensive than a IET carriage. So a flirt is 16 million pounds per carriage,
Which is ridiculous.
which is very expensive, whilst an IET is only £12 million per carriage. And obviously, make what you think. You know, I don't know if you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, but obviously, in theory, it should lead to high quality, which, in fairness, it does. Um, but it just shows to be
yeah,
able to have good trades nowadays, you do have to pay up more money, and that is why the fares are increasing, especially on COVID at the
Yeah,
minute. And still now,
yeah.
the British government aren't actually actively encouraging us to use the trains. Um,
No, they're
so
still
that's just
dead.
going to make the situation worse and worse as the train companies can't make more money, and then therefore they can't buy new trains, can't buy, so it's just
Yeah,
having these tickets more. So on the screen now is an example of what we're talking about,
yeah,
which Greater Anglia for that'll come up in a second because it's delayed. But yeah, so if you ever ride a flirt, it's a extremely good example of what potential a new train in the UK could be like. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
and I think obviously Great Wrangler done a fantastic job with them. Obviously, there are a few drawbacks and flaws, like compared to the old class 90s, class 170s, 156s, etc.
yeah,
But they're just an extremely good example of what can be done if you put the time, effort, and money into it, rather than like having just bog standard trains like the Great Western Railway
yeah.
yeah,
IET, for example.
They're so
yeah.
plain.
Just bread and butter trains, really.
Mm,
They have no character. HST's had character.
yeah,
Yeah, but HSTs weren't exactly compliant.
No.
Slam doors, not enough disabled toilets for what the train was.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I think
sad.
like I think the whole point of the IET is that once it's done with Great Western or it needs someone else, they can just take it out, replace a green on the um like or red on the like where the reservations are, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
change that just to a different colour or just make it grey or black, for example, and it could just go straight off to another train operating company without
yeah.
basically requiring any modifications. Maybe, I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
the vinyls that have been stuck on the 800s are already starting to like peel off in places,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you can tell how like quickly and like not very well it was applied.
which is
The
pretty.
Zoomers are a bit better than the 800s, like the Great Western 800s, but they're still not the best.
Yeah, and in some other news, so obviously some of you will know real-time trains, the
I'm actually on it now.
it's the
Are
same,
you?
the very useful train, so real-time trains, very useful train, guess not just for train spotters, but for just general public as well, website. And over the last few months, real-time trains have been adding train
And lockdown period.
allocations and coach numbers and train numbers to their
Yeah,
website. And recently, so only today and the other day, Northern
and cross
and Cross
country.
Country have been added.
So is
So
Caledonian Sleeper.
yeah,
Yeah.
and really, it's just so if I show you an example here, so if I uh, if I do that. So the example I'm showing you right now is of the 1948 service, Northern Service from Leeds to Sheffield, and basically it's just there you go, you'll be able to see it now. It basically just shows you, and it's really useful. It just shows you um yeah, it just shows you what train it's going to be, how many coaches, what facilities it's going to have, so you can see in the top left here.
And what actual train number it'll be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just extremely useful. So you can have an
Yeah.
example with
If
cross.
you load up the actual website, real time trains,
Yeah,
and go onto quick search,
yeah.
I'll search 66782 and press go. That'll show me what service it's working
Yeah.
now. Currently, it's at Goring and Streatley on a service from Barton Hill GBRF to Eastleigh
I'll show you
West.
that in a second. But obviously on the screen is another example of cross country. So what we're talking about in here on the top right here, where it says quick search, just type whatever number you want. So 66782. Just take you straight to where
That
to what that unit is
services.
operating. So here, as Alfie said, it is, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, it's here operating a service to
Service.
Eastleigh Yard, or that has already run, but it is operating
Yeah.
service to Eastleigh Yard. Um, and that's just, it's useful. Another example, I don't know, 221141. You can see it's operating the 1508 Edinburgh to Plymouth, currently at approaching Birmingham New Street in a 10 minutes time. And it's just an extremely useful tool. Now I
yeah.
think moving on to our next topic then, Liam, if you would like to explain
Rail
franchising.
rail franchising has been scrapped because it was useless and it achieved no good. Ollie can explain more.
Okay, explain.
Um,
Explain.
yes. Yeah, franchising was used for a quarter of a century, I think, or decade, century. Um,
Yeah, entry.
and it involved companies such as Abellio First Group and Ariba running certain companies to certain areas of the UK. But this has
For
now been
example,
scrapped.
Chiltern Railways by Arriva, the best
Yeah.
franchise.
I agree. Virgin Trains, who are no longer a thing, weren't the best. Um, yeah, that's been scrapped, so it will be run by the government. But third parties, I think, no, third parties are going to run it, and government are taking the fares.
So, in like
So
funds and stuff.
yeah, so it's going to be like it's run now.
So basically,
That's
yeah. So
carried on.
basically, it doesn't really mean anything for us, like the general public, and train spotters, and
I
yeah,
think it's just another way for the government to earn more money, really.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
it's
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
true. Yeah, but obviously, basically all it means is in more of a, like in a simpler way. So currently the train operating companies are operated by franchises and often parent companies. So for example, Chiltern Railways by Arriva, ScotRail is operated by Abellio, and they have a say in the fares and they also get part of the money. But what I think what they're saying is that the government just take over control of all the fares and often like decisions on the new rolling stock and just have a bigger say in what's happening. Um,
yeah.
rather than, yeah, just have a bigger say in what's happening rather
Hopefully,
than
this means ticket prices will go down and we'll be able to travel further for less money.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like with LNER, they were after COVID, even after COVID, with no travel, they were able to do a £20 York return,
Which
and that's a
yeah,
government,
which
and that's a
was
government company.
which was, I mean, obviously it's not all like government, like they do like have like general managers who are not like obviously part of the like
Yeah,
government, but like especially after COVID, like putting special offers on to just to charge that little,
yeah, I know.
is just pretty, pretty
Insane.
insane and amazing
But
basically.
Yeah.
Um yeah, which if you do which yeah, but LNER they have their newer Zoomers as well, so and not obviously
Yeah.
not everyone likes them. But they are still running some of their older older 91s. So if I go back onto Real Time
Yeah,
Trains,
the last one, so like
yeah.
they
You can
just people
search.
going to Edinburgh now.
Yeah.
So if I just show my
You,
screen, so this is so you can just type, you can just search whichever 91 you want. So this is 91119, for example, on the screen. Running the
yeah.
2033 King's Cross Leeds, and they're not operating any further of Leeds now. So they're not going up to Newcastle or anywhere like that. But there are obviously only a select few in operation because of not only just because of COVID, because they are getting phased out and are getting, well, not old, but
Yeah,
quite old now. So myself for a second there. What other stuff is there to talk about? Yeah, so just a general update on what we're doing basically. So we have been doing trips over the past few
Yeah.
weeks and months. So obviously we are taking the COVID precautions when we
oh
are.
yeah, the slam door set on Chiltern isn't coming back now,
Yeah,
but it might be.
Seems
But it won't be for another 12
financially.
months from this been told to me by Chiltern Guard and this Ed in the chat.
we don't have a video on it from the channel, but basically the Children's Sandbox there, what we're talking about is the commuter set, which used to run every weekday from London to Bicester slash Banbury in the evening, and Banbury
Yeah.
slash Bicester to London in the morning.
Yeah,
Just to increase capacity basically. And Chiltern have deemed it not viable to operate, not economically viable to operate these slam door slash commuter sets. Yeah,
Yeah.
uneconomical. In on the normal
in
timetable
the
basically
COVID
because of
days.
in the COVID
Yeah.
world and won't be returning for at least 12 months. Honestly, we haven't got a video of this channel. However, we have done it multiple times. However, we just haven't obviously ever got around to filming it. And
It
if
is the best train to take on Chiltern at like
yeah,
5 o'clock. It's one of the best experiences on Chiltern
Yeah.
by far.
if it ever does return, we will obviously try and get a video of it because it is quite rare, as it does have slam doors, which are now quite a big rarity across the network.
East
Uh,
Midlands still have them, but they're going to be out of service by May next year.
yeah, but hopefully the
Uh,
slam doors will come back. And yeah, so just update on our trip. So tomorrow on Saturday we're going to be heading up the West Coast Main Line and Mid Main Line. Hopefully get some more videos. And then the past few weeks with Cambridge, all the videos from that are out today. Just
I
jumping
did
into
a 720.
Heathrow. Yeah, and on next Wednesday we're going to be at Heathrow for the next 747 departure.
On Thursday, I might get the 0837 out of Marylebone.
That was just
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, a bit
On
random,
Thursday,
but
I'm doing Day Safe and Southern, so I might do a video. I'm not sure though.
um, but we're not really doing any like we're just doing random trips basically. Because at the
Yeah.
minute we can't. There are some obviously there are areas which we're looking to go to, Manchester, Liverpool, places that we can't go to
Yeah,
because of the tier 1, 2, 3 restrictions. So we are following the rules. So tier 1 and 2 we are still traveling to as it is allowed, but tier 3 obviously we're not gonna travel into as it's just against
It's
the
just
law.
it's just not worth it either.
Yeah. So basically, we are holding back on the trips kind of. So we're trying to stay not local, but we're not gonna travel up to
Scotland or something.
Liverpool or Scotland, for
Yeah.
example, or
Oh,
Wales.
I'm gonna make an announcement right now. On the 19th of December, I will be travelling on Tornado up to York and back, so I will get a decent vlog out of that.
And well, I might be coming
Yeah,
if it is
Lovely.
deemed economically viable,
yeah,
Yeah.
and COVID seems to hold up and doesn't go.
yeah. I mean, my
Yeah.
tickets for Tornado have been booked already, so
Yep. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll give further updates.
as
So
it comes.
yeah, so what I was saying is basically with trips, we're trying to stay local, but not going to Scotland or anything. So we're trying to get you some new content. So, all obviously, with Cambridge, we're only going to see Peter receiving these videos that have been loaded this week. We already have had some videos from that on the channel before. We're trying to not regenerate, but like redo some of our older videos just to make them
Yeah.
more high quality of all of our new technology and stuff. And we're trying to shift our way from just trainer spotting videos to more general theme videos, so like information, like vlogs and
Yeah.
everything
Yeah,
like that. rather than just Trainspotting videos. It just
We'll get some in-depth walkthroughs of like
yeah,
the new stock.
basically just kind of had a look at our channel and like our statistics on what people like to watch, and we identified that people like our for example, like a Greater Anglia New Adventurer,
Yeah.
Is It Worth It, Southeastern High Speed, that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
sort of more
Yeah.
informational vids.
Yeah, more than they do with Trainspotting
Reviews.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make it, kind of a half and half.
And of course, we'll get you some train sim videos just to
Yeah,
keep you
every once in a
all them
while.
Yeah.
train sim fans good.
Basically, when we don't have videos to upload in the real world, we'll just get a
Yeah.
Trainspotting video recorded and upload it.
Yeah.
So next week we should hopefully have a video either from Bedford or somewhere along the Midland Main Line or West Coast Main Line. On
Yeah.
Wednesday we are hoping to get a video of GV Ross,
Taking off
GVROS, taking off from Heathrow Airport on its final flight towards Las
Los
Vegas with
Angeles.
Las Vegas.
Oh, Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
With Virgin Atlantic. If you follow us on Instagram at the Chiltern Trainspotters, you will know that we were there to see
From
GV Rom depart last 2 Saturdays ago.
third.
Okay,
Tenth.
the third
a
and tenth.
few
So
weeks
a few
ago.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yes, we did see that EN176. We
Yeah.
saw it on Facebook. It does look interesting. What we think they're doing is Sydney Marilyn has engineering works coming up in the on a few days, on
Yeah.
specific days, and we're thinking it could be something to do with that, like route learning or something like
Just
that.
colas route refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so we can see GV Ross departing on. We might be able to do some kind of Instagram live or live, just YouTube live stream from there.
Yeah.
See how that
Yeah.
goes. If we can't do a live stream, we'll definitely have a video going.
Yeah, of
Hopefully
course.
on Friday or
Yeah.
DCR Alfie. It was rather not Colas.
Oh, DCR. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Or Friday or Monday.
Yeah.
And by the way, we do hope that you are enjoying the return of the podcast. We hopefully will be able
Yeah.
to keep it running, obviously depending on school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But hopefully every Friday. Today we started about an hour late. 19:45.
Yeah.
However, we do hope to be able to start a bit earlier at normal time, 6:30 on other Friday, just due to some stuff that
Yeah.
was going
General
on today.
updates.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so this is just obviously the first of it's episode
Many.
12. I like your walkthrough with Sutter. Thanks,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elon76. I
Thank
hope
you.
we can get more of those walkthroughs soon. We've got lots recorded.
Yeah, the Stadler one wasn't in much detail, but we'll do like more
No.
in-depth sort of
Yeah,
walkthroughs. That was just like a bog standard, just like through. But we'll do more like
Yeah.
seat
yeah,
prodding, like just show you about the train more.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're not aiming to make them like exactly a walkthrough. It's more like train, like we couldn't really think of a name, but like showing off
Yeah.
the features of the train and like
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
just like a walkthrough. Um,
Yeah.
but we have lots to upload, and we're glad. Yeah, we're glad that
Yeah.
you
We're
like.
glad that people are
Yeah.
enjoying the content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing else has really changed much channel. We've got thumbnails for everything now.
Yeah.
Just like we didn't have them before. Series 6 at the minute, and new channel art. Well, not really new, but a few months old. New channel and art, and
Yeah.
profile
Series.
picture, which does look very nice.
Yeah.
I do have to say the 68s in our
Yeah.
channel art do
It does look nice.
um
Yeah. It does look nice.
very nice. So that's really. Do
About
you have
it for
anything else to
today.
say?
Yeah.
Nah, not really. I don't have much to say.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know.
that's really it. That's really what we have for today on the Down Fast podcast episode
Best podcast on YouTube.
12. Yes. So we do hope you enjoyed watching today. So it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoy watching this podcast,
and we'll see
the
you.
Downfast podcast, the best podcast on YouTube, and we'll see you next week for another episode.
Bye.
Bye.